Hi children, I hope you're all okay. So today we are going to our first video. This is our first video for home learning, and we're going to start with our new topic, which is people who help us. And each week we're going to learn about different person who helps us in our lives. I know yesterday you were doing some thinking about different people that help you in your life, or people that we know help us in lives in general. So each week we're going to learn about a different person who helps us in our lives, or a different job that helps us. And this week we're going to learn about firefighters. So we're going to read a little story now called Charlie the Firefighter. And then after that, you're going to do some writing. So I'm going to show you the story now. So get it up. Right, okay, so here we go. Charlie the Firefighter. Tulip class were all listening eagerly, waiting for Mr. Clark to tell them the big news. Next week, said Mr. Clark, we're going on a very special trip to the fire station. We will meet someone called Charlie who will tell us all about being a firefighter. All week, the children were buzzing with excitement. I can't wait to meet Charlie, said Dylan. I bet he's cool. I think he'll be really strong, said Medina. I'm going to tell him that I want to be a firefighter too, said Teo. Finally, Monday arrived, and it was time to go to the fire station and meet Charlie. Tulip class lined up with their partners and made their way to the bus. Billy and Amari sat together talking about what they thought might happen at the fire station. I hope Charlie lets me ride the fire engine, said Billy. I really hope he shows us how to use the hose, said Amari. When they arrived, Mr. Clark led the children off the bus and into the fire station. This is Charlie, said Mr. Clark. Charlie stood in front of them and waved. Look at his awesome uniform, said David. Charlie pulled off her helmet. Hi, Tulip class, she said. It's so good to meet you. I'm Charlie and I'm a firefighter. Does anybody know what a firefighter does? You put out fires, said Grace. You help people in emergencies, said Aisha. You rescue kittens from trees, said Kai. Charlie smiled. Firefighters are part of the emergency services and we help keep people safe. If there is a fire, you can call us and we will come to the rescue and put the fire out. Sometimes we rescue animals too. Is that hard? Asked Annie. Charlie thought for a moment. Being a firefighter can be hard, said Charlie. Fires are dangerous, so I have to be very brave. I also have to keep fit to make sure I'm strong enough to do the job. But the thing is that every firefighter needs most is a great team. It's the other firefighters that help me do my job, even when it's hard. Now, who wants to see the fire engine? Said Charlie. They headed out behind the fire engine to find a big, bright red engine. Wow, said Billy, it's amazing. If you'd like to get in, then I need to see some great teamwork, said Charlie. Are you ready to take turns? Tulip class lined up in pairs and waited patiently until everyone had been inside. Mr. Clark took lots of photographs of the children sat behind the steering wheel. I'm just like a real firefighter, said Medina. Can I have a volunteer to use the hose? Asked Charlie. A sea of hands shot up and Charlie chose Amari first. It's very powerful, said Charlie. Hold on tight and we'll do it together. Let's see if the water will reach that building. The hose came to life and a huge jet of water shot forward, covering the wall. Good job, said Charlie. You would make a super firefighter. After everyone had used the hose, they headed back to the fire station to learn more about all of the equipment. Charlie is amazing, said Dylan. She's even cooler than I imagined. I hope I can be as good a firefighter as Charlie when I'm older, said Teo. She's incredible, said Medina. I'm going to be a brave, strong firefighter when I grow up too. I'll be in your team, said Annie. As the class got ready to leave, Aisha walked over to join Charlie. Charlie, should I be a firefighter when I grow up? She asked. You should be whatever you want to be, said Charlie. The best thing you can be is yourself. And that's them on their way home, and they're all thinking about what job they might want to be when they're older. So this little girl, and you see what she wants to be? An astronaut. This boy wants to be a vet. This girl firefighter like Charlie. This one wants to be a runner. This one, a musician. And this little girl here wants to be a scientist. Maybe that's given you some ideas of things that you might want to be when you grow up. And what I really liked about that story, children, was that they assumed that the firefighter would be a boy. And it might be because her name is Charlie. But lots of people, I think, sometimes say firemen and things. But what's really great is that Charlie was actually a girl firefighter, because boys and girls can be whatever job they want to be. It's not boys for girls, jobs for boys and jobs for girls. There's both. We can be whatever we like to be, as Charlie said at the end. So that's what I really like about that story. So I hope you enjoyed that story too. What we're going to do now is we're going to do some writing. So you're going to make a poster. Now, you may be able to print this off, but if you can't print it off, then don't worry, because you can make your own one. And it says, what does a firefighter do? So you're going to write what a firefighter does as part of their job. Okay, so what I want you to do is have a think about the sounds and the words that you're writing. Try and be a little bit independent with your writing, but if you need some help, then a grown-up can write it for you to copy. But we're getting really good now, children, with our sounds. So you can use a sound map, which your parents can find in the useful resources area. Okay, and I want you to try and think, what does a firefighter do? Just have a little think. What is something that a firefighter will do? What does a firefighter do? Okay, and what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to write a sentence. So when we're writing a sentence, that means that we're writing more than one word. Rather than writing fire, we're going to say what they do with the fire. So we might say, put the fire out. Okay, so that's what my sentence is going to be. So you can try and write a sentence, or maybe just one word in a sentence. But I want you to really try hard with your sounding out. Show mummies and daddies at home what you can do, because we have been starting to be a bit more independent with our writing, which is fantastic. So I'm going to help you. So we're going to start by doing the word put. Okay, and just as a reference for mummies and daddies who are watching, we don't necessarily need to have correct spelling in reception. It's just all about what sounds the children can hear themselves. So if they're not spelling a word correctly, that doesn't really matter. It's just about if they manage to independently hear those sounds. So I'm going to start with the word put. The word put is a bit of a funny word because it's got a p. Sounds like it's got a, but it's an a, and then a t. So we've got put the. Now we all know how to spell the because that's a jellyfish word. Let's see if you can say it with me. Ta, ha, eh. Put the fire. There's an I there. Fire. What can we hear? Fire. Put the fire. And the fire's got an F on the end. Put the fire out. On the end. And when I'm done doing a sentence, I always try and keep a finger space in the middle of my words. So not all the words are squashed together, but you keeping a finger space there in between the words. And we're also going to put a full stop at the end. That means that it's the end of our sentence. And we can start a new sentence if we want to. Okay, so at the end of the sentence, we always put a full stop. So that's something new that we've learned. Learning finger spaces is also something new. So put the fire out. What can we say? They also helped animals, don't they? She said they help animals. So we're going to have the word, we're going to do they. So they is like the, so ta-ha, with a y on the end. The sound we haven't learnt yet, but we're going to learn that very soon. And I've got my finger space I'm going to put there. They help. What sounds are in help? Can you hear? Ha, or they help. And then animals is a long word, so I'm actually going to use the next line, but I would remember my finger space there. They help animals. Or. And can anybody remember what I need at the end of a sentence? A full stop. We've got two sentences there. Put the fire out. They help animals. And then I'm going to draw a picture up here, and you're going to draw a much better picture than me with a fire like that. Okay, let's give him a face. Okay, so that's what we need to try and do now. Mum and Daddies, of course, can help give you some help, but try and do some of the sounding out yourself. Use a sound mat if you need it, okay, because it's there. And just try your best. If you're doing a sentence, remember your finger spaces when it's a new word and full stops at the end of the sentence. Okay, good luck. And this is some work that I'd really love you to upload into your folders for me to see as well. So I look forward to seeing your amazing posters when you've done them. Okay, bye.